Radiant team
Hey yo everybody, welcome back to game number 2 between Team Renegade, this time playing on the Radiant side, and Team Fox being picked up on the Dire. So game 1 was a bit of a stomp. Um, Team Fox really not able to get their feet out from under them. Just couldn't get anything going, had a little bit of a greedy draft going, and just really got punished for it, which, happens, and hopefully game 2 they'll be able to turn it around here as Team Renegade banning out the Nakes, as well as the Ricky Maru, Timbersaw, and Disruptor getting removed, and Pudge is going to be first picked. Okie dokie here. So, um, very interesting. Okay, so
10 seconds remaining.
okie dokie. I
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know really what to say here. Is that's gonna be
Reserve time.
I don't know where they're gonna play that. Maybe that's the joy of picking it early, is you can sort of fit it wherever. Pudge, one of the few heroes I would say in Dota that can maybe play. Realistically, he could almost play the 1 through 5, and
Radiant
Team Fox responding with an equally strange opening of Lion and Omni Knight. Omni Knight, one of those heroes that is very good on paper and is very good if your team doesn't know how to deal with him and can't pick the right heroes. But picking him early to me basically says that I almost feel like that's a disrespect pick early, basically saying, yeah, we picked it, you don't know how to deal with it. So we'll have to see. As Mirana going to be the choice from Renegades. Decent pickup here, I think. Mirana, that's actually a decent combo that a lot of people don't think about. Mirana, you can kind of sit back and wait for the arrow to hit, and as soon as it does, you've basically given yourself a free hook. So certainly a pretty strong. Mirana also, especially as a core, opts to usually build a diffusal blade. So not too surprised to see that. We also probably will see her pick up an Aghanim Scepter, which is always a decent choice. Lion, just a generally safe position 5, so I definitely agree with that. Slark going to be removed.
10 seconds remaining.
I mean, you have decent counterplay to the Slark, so I'm a little surprised that's going to be removed here. And Darkseid are going to be dropped out by Team Renegade. The fact that they remove that makes me think maybe that's an off-lane Pudge, so a la Team Leviathan, who used to run that with the Jenkins Pudge in the off-lane. Zeus also going to be removed, so a lot of global presence being taken off the map. That's a bit surprising because I almost would assume that at this point, given sort of the latest playstyle of Mirana, that's going to be a mid Mirana. You never know though. Is Juggernaut going to be picked up, or banned rather? Slardar going to be picked up by Team Fox. Mirana. So you probably need. Oh, that's a Queen of Pain. Okay, so yeah, I don't really know what we're looking at here from Team Renegade. I've all of a sudden lost my ability to decide what they're going to be picking up, as my gut tells me that's going to be a Quap mid and a Mirana roam with a Pudge offlane.
Reserve time.
Or maybe that's just you're just not going to have a 5 support, and that's like a 5 roaming Mirana. I don't know. Maybe that's a 1 position Queen of Pain. We've seen that on occasion. Pudge always fits really weird into these drafts. Also, picking the Slardar is good because if Pudge accidentally hooks him, that's a free kill basically for the Slardar. I almost wonder if it'd be worth going like a bounty hunter, but at that point you're running off lane Omni Knight, which some people swear that off lane is where Omni Knight needs to be played by now, that I've been seeing. So maybe that's the call, is maybe it's an off lane Omni Knight. I would guess he could farm the jungle decently quickly with
10 seconds remaining.
purification along with
5 seconds
with an
remaining.
Iron Talon. I would think he has to be able to survive in the offlane decently well and farm the jungle okay. I mean, his mana costs are disgustingly high, so you'd go for a Soul Ring first, obviously, but Witch Doctor going to be picked up, Invoker also going to be the choice here from Team Fox, so probably going to be Quas Exhort Invoker, would be my guess. EMP could really punish Pudge, though, to be fair.
10 seconds remaining.
As Pudge typically has a really small pool, can barely get off 2 hooks now, I believe, with the int changes that came through. So,
Reserve time.
yeah, I don't know. Both drafts are pretty hard to read on. Slardar could be a safe laner too. So we see something. Maybe it's like a Slardar Omni Knight off lane, and then a 1 position for Team Fox maybe. Team Renegade probably looking at a 1 position here. Ursa gonna be removed from the pool. You might look to go something like
Radiant team pick.
a Gyrocopter, I guess, for Team Renegade would be okay. You really wanted a Fusel Plicker. Why don't you just you could pick PL into this, and that would be really strong.
10 seconds
I
remaining.
think PL would be able to deal decently with this
5
Team Fox lineup.
remaining.
And I don't know if Omni Knight plus Slardar is going to be enough to dissuade the PL from moving into the mid to late game with a force. Terrablade's still available. Could be an alternative. A lot of burst damage though. A lot of pure damage. And magic damage, which is generally what you don't want to be picking TB into.
Faceless Void.
A Void gonna be the call though.
Dire team pick.
I have no clue how Team Renegade is lining this draft up. I mean, I like the Void pick. Because especially if you're going for the Radiance Vanguard build. Actually, what we've been seeing more now is we've been seeing Echo Saber into Diffusal Blade. So that could be an interesting choice, or Echo Saber into like a Manta or something. Could be a pretty interesting call. And then you're running that in the safe lane, Quap mid, Pudge off lane, Mirana, Witch Doctor roaming. I'm going to be the pickup here for Team Fox, a greedy 1 position. I don't know how well that fits with the rest of the composition, to be honest. Like, Anti-Mage is good against Pudge, because you just sap all his mana and then he can't do anything. But at the same time, you have Quap, who, if she's smart, probably going to be building an Orchid now. Faceless Void. Omni Knight's going to have to position amazingly here. And looking at the lineups, looking like it's going to be Insane playing the Anti-Mage in the 1 position. Invoker, Invisible was playing the Axe last game, so that's going to be Invoker mid. Menu Principal, surprisingly, is going to be playing the Omni Knight. So it's looking like it is going to be a dual lane with the Slardar and the Omni Knight in the off lane. And then Dcast going to be supporting with the 5 position Lion going into the safe lane. Meanwhile, on the Radiant side, we're going to have FHD playing the Pudge. That leads me to believe it's going to be a roaming Pudge. Infamous Inc. going to be playing as Witch Doctor again. Mouse Warrior, who is playing, is that going to be an offlane Queen of Pain? Mini going to be playing the 1 position Faceless Void. And then favorite flavors, so this is going to be most likely a Mirana in the 1 position, or in the mid lane rather. And then Queen of Pain in the offlane. I don't know if she survives this lane. This will probably be the key matchup here. but I don't necessarily think this goes Radiant side, especially if Omni Knight looks to provide a little bit of support down here. I think with the Anti-Mage blinking in, you got him removing the mana, she's maybe not going to have enough for a blink. Menu Principle with the Purification, going to make sure that she takes a lot of pure damage, and then Lion coming through with the Hex and the Stun to keep her in place while Insane goes to town. I don't know if she survives this. Meanwhile, FHD just looking to go through, so this is going to be probably a roaming Pudge here. Along with Infamous Ink, going to get a very deep play coming through, and that might actually scare Yuri a little bit,
The battle begins.
as she's going to get spotted out here. Cask is going to be ready. Yuri just actually going to get zoned. And Cask comes through, a little bit of waste of mana there, but not too big of a deal. Forced to eat a tango, which is always nice. But it is going to be a Mirana in the mid lane, so yeah, a lot of this is going to come through on how well the rotations come out on the Pudge. If you can get Pudge a quick level 3, it's always a big favor, always a big help. Make sure that she can move into the mid game okay. And a lot of it's also going to be on how well can Team Fox deal with the Pudge. Obviously, forces you to play very differently. Mouse Warrior possibly going to get caught out. A very nice word actually over here is going to be keeping her alive for the most part. Certainly not going to get dewarded anytime soon. But Mouse Warrior taking a little bit of harass from the Omni Knight, should be okay. Meanwhile, Pudge going to look to get the pull through, is going to miss, as Slardar had successfully gotten the Observer Ward down. And Ink doesn't have any sentries. So this ward block is going to be there for quite a while. Also going to stifle a lot of the rotations here, as Mouse still hasn't skilled. Might look to just take a point in the Shadow Strike would be my expectation. And Anti-Mage farming up a Storm so far. Shadow Strike does come through on a Menu Principle. And the big issue right now is he is sapping a lot of experience away from Insane, who is barely level 2. And Mouse Warrior almost level 3. So he's just going to go to town harassing the Omni Knight, see if he can get him to blow a couple purifications. As I had mentioned, those are pretty expensive. And if you can make him blow them on himself, you don't have to worry about him using it on the carry. So FHD going to throw down the sentry wards. And actually, I almost wonder if Yuri could have looked to try and pull those away. D-ward going to come through. FHD going to pick up a... Actually going to walk straight by it. And Invisible throws out the Sunstrike. Might have been a misclick here, as he is now fairly low on mana. Does actually not have Ghost Walk available. So FHD might actually be able to pick up the Courier if he wants it. But instead, he's going to get spotted out almost certainly here, and should be able to pick it up on the way back. Yep. And that'll be a dead Donkey. If he can get in range for the second one, that's going to be a dead Courier. So Courier sniped up by the Pudge. And yeah, it's a decent amount of gold going the way of the Radiant side. And Flavor going to pass his Bottle Charge on to FHD and move up, pick the Bounty Rune. So Mini doing pretty well once again, taking a pretty devastating lead in terms of last hits. 20 last hits, 13 denies, as opposed to the Anti-Mage sitting on 12 and 4. Does have the Poor Man's Shield, so Slardar not going to be able to do too much to harass out the Void. And at this point, you could probably just leave Infamous Ink to roam. See if you can hope pick up somebody. Favorite Flavor, looking to maybe try and set up a potential hook opportunity.
Middle tower is under attack.
And actually, they do have vision on the Radiant high ground. So if Pudge looks to walk up, might get spotted out. Mini taking a lot of damage out of nowhere. Queen of Pain doing decently well, already actually level 4. And is sitting heftily ahead of this Radiant side. Lion's still level 2. And Queen of Pain already ahead of both the Anti-Mage and the Omni Knight. So Omni Knight going to get a little bit of experience from pulling. But they certainly don't want to pull this creep wave, and Visible gonna go down as Pudge able to pick up the kill. And that's not how Team Fox want to start the second game, as he's already got his Tranquils up and running.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Pudge level 3. Mini taking a decent amount of damage is going to time walk out. And Yuri going to get hooked. A great hook from Pudge. FHD going to pick up a second kill in a matter of seconds. Mini actually going to get the credit, but Pudge doing all the work. Pretty typical of core players. And Mouse Warrior still doing pretty well. 7 last hits compared to the 4 of the Slardar. She's got a little bit more gold she's going to have to try and find, as the Slardar probably going to be content with just the Blink Dagger. Mouse going to be forced to blink out, and that's going to be the one thing that Insane really needs to do, is try and pressure her. Make her blink out as many times as possible and see if they can't pick up an opportunity to maybe snatch the Queen of Pain's life. Mid lane, FHG going to be able to pick up one. Mirana supplying the damage, able to get the kill. FHD going to get the stun up, and Decast is going to go down. That's going to be a double kill for the Radiant side, 2 for 1, or 2 for 0 rather. FHD going to eat up a Tango. And while Arrow is barely going to miss, as Yuri trying to give chase. Stun does come through. Infamous Inc. going to need to try and walk his way out, as Yuri does not actually have a bash leveled up. Infamous Inc. going to get stunned up again. He will probably go down. And FHD almost gets himself killed as he hooks the Slardar close. Meanwhile, Invoker, Cold Snap, going to go out on FHD. That'll be another kill. So maybe a bit greedy. As Invisible able to come in, snatch up a kill. Favor Flavor does have the double damage rune and is going to look to put a little bit of damage out. But Decast also in position to help out, and that's a lot of rotations coming through, as Void getting a little bit of free time, does have the Chronosphere ready to go. And Decast actually in a position to get the stun off, does find it. And with the Hex, Decast actually going to get hooked up, and he might go down as the Starstorm is going to pick him up. FHD getting credited once again. Arrow comes through, does connect on a menu principle. Hook ready in 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Purification is not going to be in time, as he will fall, and that's going to be a 2 for 0. As Pudge does dodge. Tries to throw the hook out, does miss. Invisible going to be A-okay for now, but Yuri TPing into the mid lane. Not sure he's going to be able to find too much here. Is FHD actually going to get caught out once again? Tries to overextend a little bit maybe. Might be able to get the suicide off though. And he's actually going to get stunned up here, and Yuri now possibly in a bit of a sticky situation. Mouse Warrior does blink forward here. Blink forward available in 12 seconds. Probably not going to be able to find this kill. And Infamous going to find the clarity and walk himself out, but not before Mini able to take the bottom T1, and this Void is being left alone once again. Mini getting quite a bit of alone time. Now Anti-Mage is also getting the same, also sitting on 40 last hits compared to the 50, 60 or Faceless Void, and is moving towards the Battle Fury at a decent pace.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
We haven't seen any stacks though set up, and Mouse Warrior comes through, does throw out the Shadow Strike onto Invisible, who does have the ability to Shadow Walk out now, or Ghost Walk rather. But Mouse Warrior just going to pick up a little bit of free farm in the mid. Looks like she will probably go for the Orchid. I think that's pretty much the safe choice here. Good against both the Anti-Mage and the Invoker. And Favorite is going to pick up a Drums first, actually. So wants to go for a little bit more of an early game focus build. Wants to be able to get her team through the early game, the mid and early game. Mini going to dodge the Sunstrike. And Pudge walks straight over a ward, so he's in a bit of a sticky situation where he might be able to get caught out. But instead, Invoker just going to play it safe. Hook does miss, and Infamous Inc. Gonna take a tower shot to the face. Meanwhile, Mouse Warrior has rotated back into the top lane. Decast has only been able to get much going, does have his brown boots, and probably will be working towards Tranquils. Anti-Mage is making decent time, looking like it's going to be a 13-minute Battle Fury or so. Stun gonna come out onto Invisible. Cast does bounce the wrong way. And the damage amp gonna come out onto the Pudge. Finally level 6 from Yuri. Actually gonna get hit by the stun. That should almost certainly be a kill, but Pudge not really in position. Actually is gonna connect. And Yuri gonna be able to get a 3-man clap off. Infamous gonna take a lot of damage from the Sunstrike. But Mouse Warrior gonna blink forward, gonna get the Scream of Pain off. And that'll be a 1-for-1 exchange. Trading a 5 support for a Slardar. Not the worst thing for RNG, but that certainly should have been a better exchange there. As Slardar able to make the most of it. RNG still sitting at a 5,500 gold lead. A lot of that coming off probably the bottom T1. Pudge waiting in the wings, wants to try and find something. But with the experience lead, about a 3,000 experience lead.
Time is money.
FHD waiting in the wings, wants to try and find another hook here. Arrow is going to come through. That will connect. Mouse Warrior does blink forward. Scream of Pain already been used. Starstorm going to be able to pick that up, and FHD doesn't even need to throw out the hook. And they're looking like they want to try and find the Anti-Mage here, who is out farming on his own. Does have most of the Battle Fury, but if FHD able to land the hook here, be a pretty devastating find. Unfortunately, Radiant side did walk under an Observer Ward, but Mini look like he is going to go for the Echo Saber. Not too surprising. Insane actually TP'd right into this. Actually is going to have to blink out. Yuri throws out the damage amp, but is not going to be able to help out, as Invisible does have the Hand of Midas recipe, but it's going to be a very late Midas, already 11 minutes. It still needs 500 gold, so that's probably going to come at about 13-14 minutes himself. Anti-Mage, like I said, insane. Still needs another 800 gold before he's able to finish up the longsword. Invisible might be able to pick up Favorite Flavor as Menu Principal trying to bait him up onto the high ground here. Arrow is going to miss, but actually is going to catch on to Decast. So the gig is up, and Favorite Flavor is going to walk herself out. Does have the drums ready, though, as Echo Saber now complete on the Mini as well. So he'll start probably heading towards, my guess would be at a Fusel Blade. Mouse Warrior, FHD, going to rotate through, going to pick up this T1 almost certainly, as Mouse Sports gonna have to blink herself out. Yuri gonna throw out the damage amp, and she'll actually just walk it out. Decast in a position. He is gonna be able to get the stun off, and the Hex should come through shortly. That's probably gonna be a beautiful 2-man Chronosphere, and that's gonna be enough to probably pick up Menu Principal, as Decast gonna get brought down as well. Mini able to pick up the double kill. FHD has the hook ready if he wants to use it. It's just gonna go with the Dismember, and that should be enough to seal his fate. Yuri gonna blink forward. Or rather, Mouse Warrior, Queen of Pain with the Scream of Pain. Gonna be bringing down another one. That's a 3-for-1 exchange. Meanwhile, on the backside, Flavor not able to close out the kill on Invisible, who I believe got hit with the arrow. Does almost have his Midas ready, but at this point, once again, might not be the call here, as Greed seeming to be the punishing factor for Team Fox. Overall, FHD still sitting on a pretty decent item build at 12 minutes, 13 minutes for a 4th position. Mini sitting about 7.1k, well ahead of the curve. FHD able to get one off. The arrow comes through. Yuri going to be brought down again. Pudge coming through. Decast should not have finished that TP. He will go down almost certainly. He is going to fall. Infamous Inc. still able to live though. And the Urn will secure his life, as Mini going for the Diffusal Blade, it looks like. Closing in on that at a rapid pace. Morana doing not so bad herself, does have enough for the point booster. Pudge getting something shipped out. Looking like he's going to be going for the Aether Lens. Rush, not too surprising there. As Mouse Warrior closing in on the Orchid. Midas now complete on the Invokers. That'll help speed him up a little bit, but at this point you gotta wonder if it's a little bit too little too late once again for Team Fox, as they're just struggling to get going. Anti-Mage 14 minutes in has just now finished his Battle Fury no treads. And that's the sign that this game is going disastrous. As you can come back with an anti-mage, you put your team on the enemy team on the clock here
Is under attack.
with the IAM farming well, but no stacks available. FHD almost certainly gonna catch the Hellbear actually, and Mouse Warrior is gonna blink forward, predicts the blink location here, does not have enough though, and Insane actually gonna get hit up by the arrow, and that'll seal him. He's gonna go down to the hook of FHD. Menu Principal in a position where he might get caught out 6 seconds on the hook. FHD just gonna walk around, and they're gonna be able to dodge the Observer Ward for now. Favorite flavor. FHD walks right next to Invisible. He's going to get eaten up, and Starstorm should be enough to bring him down. He will fall, and that's going to be a canceled TB as the Slardar would almost certainly regret his decision as Brana actually going to pick up the Blink Dagger, so doesn't even need the farm acceleration at this point. Just to be able to hit the arrow, blink forward, get the Starstorm, and walk away with the kill instead of having to burn the leap to go forward. And while Void, Mini, almost done with his Diffusal Blade. Menu Principal, actually the second lowest net worth, sitting only on Brown Boots and a Fairy Fire. And Decast not doing any better himself.
Under attack.
But Observer Ward forced up onto the Radiant High, or onto the Dire. Ward spot by the Dire. Shows just how far back they've been pushed. Slardar, still no Blink Dagger, 16 minutes in. Yuri, walking right into FHD, is going to get eaten up himself. Purification going to come through, going to help him. And FHD going to fall to the Sunstrike. Insane on the backside, able to pick up one though. And the Death Ward is going to continue to go through. That's going to be one 2-man Chronosphere on the backside. Invisible going to get picked up. And Insane going to get hit by the hook. Favor going to be able to pick up one as well. And Mini walks away with a double kill on the backside. As this going to be probably, yeah, a win for Team Fox, but not a big one. Giving them about 700 gold, and maybe that's the difference breaker, but it's going to probably take another couple of those fights to really bring this game back.
Dire's middle tower
As RNG sitting on a commanding lead of 12,000 gold. Menu gonna throw out the magic immunity to make sure he's able to walk himself home, but it's also not going to deal with the hook. So Decast has to be careful where he walks. Repel. Ready and waiting, but Yuri once again going to have to throw out the stomp here, and that cast is going to go everywhere. Nice 2-man crush though, and that should be a dead Pudge, but the Moonlight Shadow not going to save him as he's hit up by the damage amplification. Infamous Ink still in a similar situation. Damage amp coming through once again. Insane blinking forward. Does have the Mana Void. Stun going to connect, but only going to do so much as the Witch Doctor needs to find his way out, and the Mana Void will bring him down. That being said, at the same time, Mouse Warrior bottom lane going to connect and most likely secure this T2 in the bottom. Favorite Flavor also doing his best to try and push out the mid lane as he's closing in on the Aghanim Scepter. Just needs 2.5k. Menu will dodge the arrow this time.
Dire's bottom tower
But Mini closing out with the bottom T2. And is also moving towards a Manta after the Diffusal has been finished. FHD walking straight over an Observer Ward. Just trying to close out, finishing up the Aether Lens. Blink Dagger picked up on the Slardar, and maybe they can start bringing this back. Team Fox are slowly getting their items that they need to make this comeback happen. But it might be a little bit too little too late, as Invisible in hook range. Actually, Mini might look to pick up the Slardar here. Has a good blink, and the courier is going to get eaten. And it is going to be a courier kill coming out. So Pudge just making sure they pick it up. Don't want it to get speed boosted. And should secure him enough money to pick up the Aether Lens once Void is getting his pickup. As he's getting shipped out as Yasha, moving on to the Manta style, just wants to increase the amount of damage once his Diffusal gets moved up to T2. Infamous Ink also moving on to his Aghanim Scepter. Needs another 2,000 to have that complete. Decast Still just with Tranquils, wants to try and get that Blink Dagger going. Yuri blinks forward, might be a little bit over his head here as the stun does connect. Is going to start bouncing around though, but not going to help set anything up. That being said, Insane going to be caught up. Yuri blinks forward, does get the two-man crush, but the slow from the rod is going to mean he's in a very precarious spot. Mouse is going to go down though, thanks to Sport Sphere, and that's going to be a four-man Chronosphere. Yuri is going to drop immediately. Death Ward is going to go to town. Invisible taking a lot of damage. He's going to be able to get the Ghost Walk off, but he will go down almost certainly, and Quap is going to be the only one to go down on the Radiant side, and Invoker the only one left alive, as this is going to be a T3 and probably a Reign of Rax. 2 buybacks available on the supports, but that's not going to be enough to secure this team fight, or secure their lane of Rax, as Team Fox going to start having to deal with Megas pushing into their base. Mirana also done with the Aghanim Scepter, so she's going to start pushing farther ahead. And overall, we're seeing again that maybe with the items coming out, Team Fox have potential to make this happen, but it's looking very far away. And a couple team fights need to come in their direction, as Insane gonna take an arrow to the face, but no hook to make sure that comes through. And nice time walk, able to dodge the crush. As look like we're just gonna see a reset here. FHD still waiting on his Aether Lens to come through. Looks like he's gonna be moving towards a Force Staff though. And with the Orchid finished up on Mouse Warrior, he'll be able to try and force some picks onto the Anti-Mage, who is still working on his treads. 20 minutes in, still doesn't have enough money to make sure he gets his basic items done. Yuri doing okay, but Favorite as possibly being caught out. Yuri does have Blink Dagger available, 6 seconds, but goes the wrong way, and that should lead to a Mirana getting out. So very missed opportunity here, as Flavor was well out of position, but was able to get the nice leap off as well as the following Blink Dagger. Just not enough to keep the bottom down. Manta recipe complete for Many, just needs one more item. Is going to send the courier to the secret shop, so that'll be the Ultimate Orb picked up. Pudge also looking to play a game of hide and go seek, but with walking over the Observer Ward, that's certainly not going to happen. 21 minutes in, 20, what is that, probably 24, 23,000 gold deficit, so it's obviously not good for Team Fox, down 1,000 gold a minute. And the experience graph not looking much better. About 500 gold a minute, or 500 experience a minute. As this game is very much out of their control at this point. Certainly going to need RNG to try and pull out a throw or two. As Witch Doctor has the Ags complete, and a big Chronosphere ends this game almost certainly. As Mini with the Diffusal Blade. Guardian Angel means nothing.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Pudge able to get the pull through Repel. He means nothing. Omni Knight basically useless at this point other than the heal bomb. And Mirana just doing so much damage with the Star Storms that they're going to need a lot more healing to go through than that. As the arrow comes through, does connect onto the Forge Spirit. Rest and Pepperoni. Mini continuing to go down on a Roshan. He'll be able to pick this one up. First Roshan going down of the game. Manta Illusion's going to help deal tank. Roshan arrow connects onto the big guy. Malediction does nothing. And so yeah, at this point, not exactly sure what the play is here. Fox probably need to try and go for a smoke gank, try and find somebody. But as Anti-Mage blinking out of the base, it's not likely going to happen. Treads finally complete onto him. Missed opportunity as Pudge does hook a creep. So gets the tasty gold, but not going to find the tasty Anti-Mage. Sync going for, I believe it's going to be a Medallion. And Anti-Mage forced into a slightly suboptimal build path as Vanguard going to be complete onto him, but not before the Force Staff comes out onto the Pudge. Hook does come through, but was not able to shift Q it, and that means Insane lives another day. Decast. Just trying to push out the super creeps. Along with Insane. Pudge looking up trying to find something, but I think he's actually, yeah, he's in range. He's in vision raids. And Yuri blinks forward, and he has found a faceless void. He will go down. Mini could blink forward and get a two-man chrono off. As Diffusal comes through, Arrow does barely miss the Omni Knight. Mini gonna throw up the Manta Illusions, and looks like he's gonna try and take another lane of racks here as FHD blinks forward, barely misses the Omni Knight and the Invoker. That's gonna be a buyback onto the Slardar here, and they need to make something happen or this is gonna be a waste of time. Mini continuing to go to town on the range racks, and something needs to happen. This could be a 4-man, 3-man Chronosphere, and he's just actually going to save it. Doesn't even need it. Insane is going to fall. That's going to be a buyback on the Lion. Anti-Mage is down, and that's going to be a good game call once again. Decisive victory from RNG. 2-man Chronosphere. That'll be enough to end this game. As Death Ward not needed. Invoker ghost walking himself to base. And Infamous picks up a gem, or rather Pudge does, and he will fall. So good game called once again. Gonna be a 2-0 victory for RNG, taking a pretty secure victory on both games, as Team Fox just couldn't keep the pace up, and they're gonna drop to 2-4, whereas Renegades still looking to play their game this week, move up to 4-0. So that'll put him securely at tied for first place alongside Invoker Studios, who are at 4-2. So they're actually, I believe, in technically first place right now, given that Invoker Studios did take a 2-0 loss, I believe, at some point. Yeah, they did lose 2-0 to Angel's Dream, who are also, before this match, tied with Team Renegade. So once again, fairly convincing victory. Team Renegade, both teams played well. I think Team Fox played with a lot of heart, just weren't able to pull a lineup together that could really compete with the early game pressure that Team Renegade was throwing at them. But in either case, thanks again for watching, guys. My name is Coach. You can find me here on Twitch, twitch.tv/CBB692. You can just look up Call Me Coach. Actually, that probably won't work on here. You're going to have to search CBB692. But YouTube, however, is youtube.com/user/CBB692, or just look up Call Me Coach there. You can find me on Twitch, twitch.tv, Twitter, twitter.com/CBB6, Twitch, twitter.com/CallMeCoach, or just look up at Call Me Coach. And I also have a Facebook page, facebook.com/CBB as a coach. Thanks again for watching, guys. Sorry for the stumble at the end. But otherwise, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Really hope you had a good time. Thanks again for watching, and I will tune in next time. Should be casting Esports Wall this coming Monday, but otherwise I'm looking to get back into it, so you should definitely follow my stuff so you can see when I'm coming up. And thanks again, guys. Talk to you later. Peace.